See, education plays an utmost important role in life of a person with diabetes. This diabetes is a chronic ailment. It's not going to go away. Type 1 diabetes needs more and more aggressive education. Type 2 diabetics needs education. Pre-diabetic people, they needs education so that they can prevent developing diabetes in future. A high risk population needs education. Now we talk about more about COVID nowadays. I know it is a pandemic and we accept it, but we should also know that there is also an epidemic of diabetes, and it is one of the lifestyle disease which is preventable. And let me share with you, education and empowerment, these are two important things which can really do wonders. More you empower people with evidence based knowledge, you will be able to remove the misconceptions in their mind, as well as you will be able to improve the compliance, which includes compliance for diet, compliance for medicines, compliance for monitoring of blood glucose, compliance of monitoring of other diseases, and compliance for annual screening and achieving the targets in a best possible manner. We also call it as therapeutic diabetes education. Education also reduces your blood sugar without increasing the dose of the medicine. And how it happens? It's called as therapeutic diabetes education. One tablet of diabetes, the one which is very famous nowadays, SGLT2 inhibitors or gliptins. These are the drugs which cost you at least 40, 45 rupees, sometimes 50 rupees per day. And despite spending so much of money, still you end up of reducing blood glucose by around 0.6, 0.8, sometimes 1%. But the education itself can reduce your HbA1c to a large extent up to 1.5%. Different studies have 1% to 1.5 and even up to 2%. And that is why we should be engaging every clinician, every healthcare professional, whether he's treating a case of diabetes, whether he's involved in the care or not involved, can act as a good diabetes educator. But very unfortunate part in our life, our countries, has been so many, almost 7.8 crores of diabetics we have. Many of them, almost 45% of diabetics are still undetected. Only 25% of the people are well controlled. Rest of the 75% are still uncontrolled. And this is a big challenge. If you empower people, they are taking medicines, but we are not making them aware that this is important part of life. It is utmost important to have the best compliance when you deal with diabetes. Now, compliance, as I told you, it's for everything. It's for diet. That person should follow the diet discipline. It's for regular exercise. It may be even, you can add now yoga is another thing which should be incorporated in the exercise program. So you can have half an hour yoga, half an hour aerobic exercises. Twice in a month you can have the muscle building exercises. So exercise again needs compliance. Then of course of the medicines. Now some people who are on multiple doses of anti-diabetic drugs, anti-hypertensive drugs, lipid lowering therapies. Sometimes you have associated problem, maybe thyroid, maybe heart problems, maybe you have kidney problems. So you have multiple medications, and as the disease progresses, as it advances, then the number of drugs they may increase, and accordingly there will be a stage that you have somewhere around 15 years of diabetes and you're at least taking 10 or 15 tablets in particular day. And that is how where you need to educate them and make them comfortable how best possible you can have the compliance with least number of tablets. You can of course doctor will do their job, but again, so they should be taking their medicines on a proper way. Then comes the insulin also, that sometimes you prescribe insulin for 3 times a day, 4 times a day. I'll share a common example. Someone gets admitted for something, maybe some surgery or some acute infection, being put on multiple doses of insulin 4 times a day, before breakfast, before lunch, before dinner, at the time of retiring. Now, these patients, when they go back, after a month, when they come back with the follow-up, they said, I was feeling well. So what I did is I stopped the before lunch afternoon because I'm going to the office. And this is what is compliance. Now you have to make them understand, or you have the importance of it. Second, you have to also make them comfortable. So because he has to also attend his office, how best you can support him and educate him that he can have that injection even in the office, and how you can carry it and how can do it. That's a part of education. It's like if you don't monitor blood glucose, you don't know where are you heading to. And that is why every person with diabetes should have a glucometer at home and should be monitoring their blood glucose on a regular basis. So even monitoring needs education and empowerment so that they can really have a better compliance. And then comes the annual screening and the every 4 months or 3 to 4 months monitoring of HbA1c, that in last 3 to 4 months, how did you dealt with your blood glucose? And that is how we call it as a, when I educate, when our team educates, we say it's your semester exam now. So in last semester, how much have you controlled your blood glucose? So let us check it. And then, oh, it was 8 earlier, now it has come to 7.5. Good, you are doing wonderfully well, encourage them. But next time we'll try to get it 7. Once you achieve 7, oh, good, you're great. Again, you got the now first class marks, and now we have to plan for the distinction to have HbA1c of 6.5. So that is again is a part of education that you should be doing. Every person with diabetes should be checking their eyes, should be checking their kidneys, thyroid status, cholesterol, dentals, cardiac status, and all target organs should be checked once in a year. And this is, if they don't know this, they will never check it. They should know that diabetes may have silent heart attack. And that is why they should not be waiting for the chest pain to come. They have to check their ECG and other parameters more aggressively every year so that they don't miss out anything. Even if they don't have chest pain, they have to check it. They will, many of the people you tell them, okay, now almost 1.5 years have gone, you should check your retina. But doctor, I can see everything. I can read newspaper. I can see TV. I don't have any problem in my vision. Recently, I've checked my eyes. Arey Baba, your eyes is different. The vision is different. You have to check your retina. By the time you reduce your vision, it's going to be too late, and retinopathy will be at the last stage. Similarly for kidneys, now, we should know that kidney damage doesn't occur in one day. And then we should try to evaluate this ailment much earlier. And you can prevent it. Now you have got drugs which can prevent heart attacks, which can prevent kidney damages, which can reduce the progression of the disease of coronary artery disease and strokes. But if you're not aware of it, you will not follow it. Prescription is one part of the therapy. Large part lies in the education, quality of life, the compliance. Many things they play a major role. There one video came that type 1 diabetes can be cured. Everyone in the world knows that type 1 diabetes cannot be cured by just doing one exercise. And one patient just landed up with me seeing that video last week, and he had diabetic ketoacidosis. He was practically in semi-coma. Parents were crying that their son has stopped insulin since 1 or 2 months. This the video has come after seeing that video. So we have to empower people so that they should not get misleaded through these, fake and so-called unfortunate videos and WhatsApps, and so they should try to learn from a good quality diabetes educator. We call them CDE, certified diabetes educators, and we need many more now. We have learned, first thing is the government of India has allowed the teleconsultation and telemedicine as one of the add-on to our system. We have learned that whatever we used to do by traveling to thousands of kilometers across the country, across the globe for attending a meeting can be done even in your own bedroom or in your drawing room or in clinic. Can be done very easily, more comfortably, with the same impact and same passion. And maybe it is medical conference, maybe it is reaching to the needy people, common people, or maybe patients, or whoever it is, or the paramedical staff. So through this platform, we can certainly educate people. We can reach to people who are in urban, metros, semi-urban, or rural places, and small primary health centers. We have few of the pregnancy, type 1 diabetes pregnant women during peak of the corona, and she was facing a lot of difficulties in getting control, but she got connected to us through telemedicine, and through the digital platform we could really had a wonderful control. Even she was in Chhattisgarh, and that too in a not a very big place or a bigger city, but in a small village, and ultimately their local gynecologist and everything done wonders there, and we could manage the diabetes from here, and she could be delivered there with a healthy baby. Yes, so it should be a continuous process. It cannot stop at one go. Suppose someone has taught me insulin 30 years back in my UG days and PG days, then if you have to get yourself updated. It's a changing science. Medicine is a changing science. So every now and then you need to be updated. So it should be a continuous process. So you can certainly update. And again, I'll go back to Corona. Corona has taught us what was there last year, April. This was quite different this time. What was there last September is quite different this September. Okay, so every time we are learning some learning, and that learning which is apt for a patient and public and educator should also reach to them. आप घर में सब्जी बनाते हैं तो आप बार बार नमक टेस्ट करते हैं ना, उसका नमक बराबर है कि नहीं, मिर्ची बराबर है कि नहीं, you test this. Okay, now similarly when you take medicine, you are supposed to check blood sugar, that how much your blood sugar with the medicine, whether this medicine is controlling your fasting, postprandial blood glucose or not. That is your main aim. When you take insulin or tablets, everyone has to see what is his body respond, whether the body is responding to the given prescribed medicines or not. And that is why monitoring of blood glucose as well as monitoring of now blood pressure. People who, all of us, have never had pulse oximeter at our home ever in life. Now I'm 57. In 57 years of my life, I did not kept any pulse oximeter at home, but Corona has taught us, and saturation word was not known to anyone. Again, the change has come through education. The same learning we should have for non-communicable diseases. Every diabetic should have a glucometer. Every person with diabetes should have a BP apparatus. Every diabetic person should know when you're keeping a glucometer, but you have never tested it. So this even next step is, once you have a glucometer, how to utilize it and how frequently you should be doing it. This again is the job of an educator and a clinician and a healthcare professionals. Diabetes is a chronic ailment, and to tackle this, we have to understand this table. The education should roam around on these 5 important points. The table has 4 pillars. One is diet, second is exercise, third is pharmacotherapy, and fourth is monitoring. Now you have diet, exercise, pharmacotherapy, which includes tablets and insulins, and the monitoring. But is the table still complete? The table is still not complete without a tabletop. And education is the tabletop of this diabetes management. Without education, your table of diabetes management is incomplete. The price of ignorance is far higher than the price of education. Because of ignorance, people die from undiagnosed diabetes. Because of ignorance, people die from lack of insulin. Because of ignorance, there is social discrimination against the people with diabetes. And because of ignorance, due to lack of education, people with diabetes suffer unnecessarily and die prematurely. This unnecessary suffering and premature death is not because of diabetes, but it is because of education. And the day has come that every one of us should incorporate education as a part of our clinical care for a person with diabetes. With this, I stop here. Thank you very much for your patience listening.